There we go. We are live. All right, Lions fans. 3 days to the first round of the draft in Detroit. The Lions Den is here to do our annual mock draft. Let's get into it. All right, son, we gonna just get right into it. Now, unlike last year, I don't know about you, son, but last year I was very excited about the draft because we were coming off of a pretty decent season where you saw that we were on the rise. We had two first round picks, two second round picks. But this year, we do not have a top five, top 10, or even top 15 pick. We don't pick until the end of the first round. So it's not as much excitement, but it is exciting that it is in Detroit. And by the way, shout out to everybody over on Twitter/X and YouTube because we are live over there. I forgot to mention that. All right, son. So unlike last year where you and I went back and forth, where I did one pick, you did the other, we are going to go over our own mock draft and who we picked. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Uh, yeah, I'll just let you go first.
Okay, all
I
right.
know, I have my draft picks. I'm just doing research on my last three guys. So
Okay, no
I
worries,
just,
no worries. Now, by the way, did you do any trades? Did you just go straight the straight seven picks?
I went straight through.
Okay, me too. Me too. I said I was going to trade if there wasn't someone interesting at a certain spot, but I decided just to go straight through. So I will go. So I will start first, and we're going to start with the first round. So, all right, in the first round, I took defensive end/edge Chop Robinson out of Penn State.
Okay.
There were a few guys who I was considering there, but he was one of my top three. The reason I took him, son, is because I figured that Chop could be maybe what Micah Parsons is. Ironically, they went to the same college. I could be exactly, he could maybe be what Michael Parsons is to the Cowboys. He's a smaller edge, but he would to me was the best edge on the board, and I believe that this is still a position of need for the Lions. So that's why I took Chop Robinson. Okay,
Yeah.
you are up with your first round pick.
Okay. So with the first pick, or I guess with the 29th pick, and I'm happy to say that, we're used to the sixth pick. Now we got the 29th pick.
Right.
I don't know if we were expecting that, but okay. So with the 29th pick, I mean, I got who I think this is the most popular pick. Who knows how he actually turns out. This is who I would be happy with. But, you mentioned that really they could draft a few different positions with this pick, and it could probably, maybe it would be fine. But, I got them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm sorry. You got to take that dude. He's from Alabama. We know Alabama produces good players. I mean, we got Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams. I say, why not get another Alabama boy? I'm not going to act like I was watching a ton of film on him, but I know he's at least 6 feet tall. I know that for a fact, right?
I think
And
six feet, 6'1", something like that.
shoot, he has to run at least a 4.4. So I don't know. I think we know we don't have a top 10 pick, so maybe honestly, I don't know how many corners there are that are ranked ahead of him anyways, but like I know we don't have like a premier pick, but really I think, it's the first round of the draft. You can get an amazing, you can get a franchise player with it's the first round. I mean, you can get a franchise player with any pick, but yeah, so I'm taking Kool-Aid McKinstry.
I want to say off the top of my head, his teammate Arnold Tyrion Arnold is ahead of him. The kid from Toledo, Quinion
Okay.
Mitchell is second, and I want to say maybe Nate Wiggins is third.
Okay.
Something like that. Now, when I did my mock, McKinstry just went right before the pick.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he was at the top of my board. So it was no way for me to get him. So all right. So I have an edge and you have a corner. Okay, let's move on to my second
Yeah.
round pick. All right. Right here, I had to go with a pick of value. And what I went with, this is a position that I think that we need, but he was the best value on the board. I went with Christian Haynes, the guard out of Connecticut. I went with this pick because I still believe that even with bringing in Zeitler and with Glasgow being re-signed, I still think that we are in the market for a starting guard, and this kid could probably come in and move Glasgow out and maybe make him the backup player. This way we get a young guard. I don't know anything about this kid being able to play center because Frank Ragnow is getting up there. He's not old, he's 29, but I mean he's had that foot problem this year, where he missed a few games.
Right.
So I went ahead and took this kid. It was a value pick, and I do think there's a pick of need, and actually he was the best value on the board. All right, we will go with your second round pick. All
And
right.
that's where that showed your better GM skills than me. I mean, because to be honest, PFF after my draft, they even told me that I made the wrong pick. they said draft Christian Haynes and we would have gave you a better grade. But
Wow.
yeah, I took a tackle named Kieran. I can't even say his last name. I'll be honest, kind of rushed through the draft a little bit. I even forgot that we need a guard over a tackle, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, they still gave me a B on it because, like you said, I think they realize it's a luxury pick. So, I mean, a good lineman is a good lineman. But, I mean, he is 6'5", 323 pounds. So, I'm like, hey, are guards bigger than linemen? Or guards are usually more agile
They're
than tackle,
they're a
right?
little more. They're sometimes they're a little more agile, I would say, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're bigger. Some of them are about the same size. Generally, when you're talking about really big guys, you're talking about there have been some 340, 50, 60 pound guards. You don't generally see tackles that big, but there are tackles out there that size.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess it said he played right guard before he had to move to left tackle, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what size a guard, but yeah, either way, it did say that your guy was the guy. It said that's a better need.
Okay, well, no worries. Okay, well, I'm fine with that. Okay, let's move on to the third round. With our pick in the third round, I took Kyrie Jackson, cornerback out of Oregon. I definitely wanted us to get a corner in this draft. I didn't. The reason I didn't get a corner in the second round is because I didn't really see a value pick. That's why I went ahead with Christian Haynes. See, sometimes a GM, Brad Holmes is one of those GMs. They will take the best player or the best value. So that's why I went in this order. All the good corners that I wanted were actually gone by the end of the first round and by the time we got to the second round pick. But Kyrie Jackson could be a corner and who could come in and probably be cornerback number 2. I'm not going to say right now he's ready to be cornerback 1, but he could come in and be CB2. I still think that, especially with losing Sutton, that is good to get another corner in there in depth. And as you remember, we let a couple of other corners go as well. So Kyrie Jackson, cornerback, is my third round pick. Now it's up. Now you're up.
And this is where my draft starts to get a little sketchy, but okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I got a good grade, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so I went with, and you went with the edge too, right? Or you went with the
In the
cornerback. Sorry.
first round, I did. I went
Yeah.
with a corner in the third.
Yeah, I went with the edge from Clemson. I love taking people from Clemson. I remember I was in love with the other boy from Clemson last year, but he ended up not even panning out this year. But I ended up going with Xavier Thomas. I'm
Okay.
going to explain. There was kind of a reason why I went with him. I was kind of thinking, I know a lot of time edges can be moved over to linebackers, can't they?
They can be. It depends on the type of defense that you run. Yes, because
So
some of those
that's
edges, to be honest, I'm sorry, some of those edges actually are outside linebackers.
yeah, okay. Because that's kind of what I was because yeah, basically what I did was I took an edge in a few rounds because I wasn't reading their position right, but it actually makes sense because the other guy is bigger than him. So, but honestly, he could help Aiden Hutchinson out on the edge too. I mean, he runs a 4.640. He's 6'2", 244 pounds, but I feel like that would be considered more of a speed rusher. Maybe I don't know how good he is back in coverage or how much Clemson had him down in coverage, but. Yeah,
Right.
that's who I went with. Just because I figured the Lions, we could either use a guy at linebacker or edge. Those are the main weaknesses I saw. And obviously, we already know our corners are not that good.
Okay, so you went corner, tackle, edge.
Yep.
Okay, cool. No worries. Okay. Well, the Lions do not have a fourth round pick this year, so we will move on to my fifth round pick. And with the fifth round pick, I went with value here again. I went with B. Limmer, center out of Arkansas. It's time to get Frank Ragnow's replacement. Frank Ragnow is not ready to go just yet, but like I mentioned earlier, he did go out a few times last year and his foot has been bothering him. So it's time to get a young guy in there who can, not only back him up, but possibly be his heir apparent down the road. So that's who I took. I took a center in the fifth round. What about? Sorry, I hit that a little early. Who's your fifth round pick?
Okay, no, it's fine. And this is where I was saying, my draft got a little sloppy because I did end up taking another edge, but I kind of have a reason for it.
Okay.
This edge, Braden McGregor, is from Michigan. So as you can expect, he's quite a bit bigger than the Xavier Thomas guy. So really what I was thinking was that the Braden McGregor would be a true defensive end because he's 6'6", 267 pounds. So obviously he's not going to be dropping back in coverage. So that was really my thinking. I mean, and there's run stopping defensive ends as well. I figured a guy that big would not be too bad at stopping the run. I mean, I know our run defense improved a lot for the most part, but still. So that's what I was thinking with him.
Okay, don't feel bad about that because when I did my first mock, I actually had the Lions taking two edge players as well.
All right.
The thing was is that in the fifth round, well, in the third round, I really like Kyrie Jackson, so I had to go with the corner there. But in the fifth round, the couple of edges that I thought would be there, kind of like project players, they weren't out there. So Limmer was the best value pick and the pick I think the Lions could use. The kid I like, Kamara out of Colorado State, I thought that he would be there. He's not a very big player, but I remember watching the Colorado. You know how you watch a player and he passes the eye test. You can see what he can do with your eyes. I remember watching that kid against Colorado. Now, granted, Colorado has a terrible offensive line in 2023.
Yeah.
But that kid definitely played a part, and I could see him being kind of like what James Houston is for us. All right, we are now going to move on to the sixth round. The Lions have two picks in the sixth round. We are at pick 201, and I'm up. With our first sixth round pick, I took Dominique Hampton, safety out of Washington. I don't know really what it is with safety because everything that we have been reading from a lot of Lions insiders, they've been saying that the Lions are going to draft the safety. It may even be earlier than this. I don't know if it's something up with Kirby Joseph or if it's just that they feel that Melifonwu is not, maybe meant to be a starter like we think he is. I know you and I have talked about this, and we think that Melifonwu can easily move in to be the starter. Maybe they wanted somebody to replace Gardner Johnson. I'm not sure, but this was a good value pick that I got at 201. Okay, you are up with your first six round pick.
Okay, and and this is technically they have him listed as an edge. I did further research, and honestly, I'm gonna stand on my picks now. Really, he's not an edge. He's a defensive tackle. They just had him listed as an edge, and I actually really like this guy now that I've looked at him. He had 30 solo tackles this season, 7 sacks, 4 tackles against Michigan, and we know Michigan has a good offensive line. But he's six. He's not. He's a defensive tackle. He's 6'5", 292. I don't think I said his name yet. His name's Justin. I think he has. I can't even say his last name. It's Justin Ebojibi. But we'll
What school?
Alabama.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and honestly, that was my best. Like, I feel like that would be a steal. I mean, not just because PFF gave me a good grade on it, but now that I was actually looking at him, I'm like, dang. I mean, we do need a lot of help on the line. So actually, I mean, I don't think they're going to go for 3 defensive linemen in a row, but I mean, well, I don't think it would be hurt. I don't think it would hurt that bad because really, even though they're all listed at edges, they really don't really all play the same position. Like they
Right.
all listed as 3 different spots when I looked them up. So
Okay. I have no issue with that. Okay, now the Lions pick at 201, and then they pick again only 4 picks later at 205. So let's get into my second six round pick. Pick 205. I took defensive tackle Gabe Hall out of Baylor. Gabe Hall is a tall defensive tackle at 295 pounds. He is a decent pass rusher. He is also really good on run defense. And I figured that this was a great value pick at 205 and that he's still on the board. Some had believed that he would go a little bit earlier than this, but I went with a defensive tackle with our second sixth round pick. Now you up for your second pick in the sixth round.
With this pick, I took. Dang, I'm trying to get back to my board. I got all these tabs open. I know I took a tight end. I took tight end from Illinois, Tip Riemann. I took him just because it was a good safe pick. We right now we only have Laporta, and we were pretty much rotating between Brock Wright and what was the other tight end's name?
James, you talking about
I thought we were rotating 3 tight ends, but maybe not.
my man, man, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
literally
good.
having a brain freeze, but I know it's like you, James Mitchell.
Yeah. But the point is, he's 6'5", 270. He had 19 receptions for 203 yards, so he's very clearly like I didn't look up how good he is at blocking, but he has to be a
Okay.
blocking tight end if you're 6'5", 270. So I think that's at that late in the draft, and you can send him out on routes, and we know how much they love to use tight ends. So yeah.
Okay. Well, no worries there. Look, when it's in the sixth round, you're really looking at depth at that point. All right. We have one pick in the seventh round, and we're going to get to mine. With pick 249 in the seventh round, I have the Lions taking Joshua Carty, kicker out of Stanford. Unless they sign Jake Bates, which I hope they do for the Michigan Panthers, the Lions, I believe, need to bring in a kicker to come in and compete. Now, the truth is that I almost didn't take a kicker here. I was kind of thinking, well, it's already picked 249. If he's on the board, there's only like 11 more picks before the draft is over. You can call Cardi up right after the draft and bring him in as a UDFA. But for the fun of the draft spirit, I had to go ahead and just take the guy, a kid that I think can come in. I think I read a stat on him that said that he only, if I'm not mistaken, son, it said he only missed 2 kicks inside of 50 yards his entire college career. So that is something that the Lions could use. All right, you are up with your last pick.
Pretty similar with my last pick. I took kicker Will Richard, and he seems like he's the man. He. I'm actually just reading about him now. Dang. Okay, yeah, I guess he can punt too. I didn't realize that. But what I was looking at him for was for field goal kickers. I was just on Alabama's website. They said he finished as their career record holder for field goals, 50 plus. He's made 10. I'm guessing that's probably in one season too.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, I didn't go that far into my thinking about the guy from the Michigan Panthers, but that makes perfect sense though.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, before we get out of here, I'm just putting my picks up on the board so people can see. You see that I did get a B minus, even
Dang,
though my last 4 picks were all C's. They gave me a B plus for my first and second round picks, a B minus for my third round pick. So I thought I was on the roll. I thought that the 5th round pick taking the center, I thought that was a pretty good pick, but they gave me a C minus. They gave me a C for Gabe Hall in the 6th, which I thought was a good grade because I think that's a good value to get him, and a C plus for taking the kicker. Do you have your did you want to put yours up?
Oh yeah, no, I will. I got hold on.
Because I want to see if you got the same. What was your grade? Was your grade better than mine, or was it the same, or was it a little lower?
Sorry, I'm trying to share right now.
Okay.
My classmates again with me.
So yeah, now I told you actually oh, there we go. I see yours. There we go. Okay, yeah, you missing the pick. Your first round pick. Oh, they gave you a B plus as well.
Yeah, no, they gave me a B plus. Yeah, they put me in the top 50, 49%.
It seemed like your grade would have been higher than mine. I had 3 B plus, and then I had 4
C's.
What did they give you for McKinstry? What was your grade? Because I can't see it. So you got an A, B, B, B plus, A, B minus, B. Huh. It looked like you had a pretty good draft. And like I said, don't feel bad about those edge players because I actually wanted to take two edges, just that the guy that I wanted wasn't there. So
Yeah, I think I had got lucky. I mean, the truth is, it's not like I feel like doing. 'Cause I don't know, explain it because last year I felt like we had pretty much researched it perfectly, and they still didn't take. I don't know if they took the positions that we thought, but I'm pretty sure they went a completely different way. But so I don't know. The
okay.
draft is weird. We'll see what they do, I guess.
Okay, yeah, we will. Well, Lions fans, we are at the 20-minute mark. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. And whenever you see this, we appreciate it. Over on YouTube, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And listen, we'll see what happened Thursday. The thing that stinks is that we don't pick until 29, and that's going to be like 3 hours in. So that's
Yeah.
getting late in the draft. But that's a good thing because in years past, we have been picking early in the draft, second pick, fifth pick, seventh pick, and that means that the team wasn't in the playoffs. Now the team is in the playoffs, made the NFC Championship game, so things are looking up. So of course we will. It probably, I don't know, Sunday. Probably won't be Sunday, but maybe Monday we will definitely do a draft recap on what the Lions actually did do. Did we forget anything?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about the first 2 rounds or something. Maybe if we have time. Maybe that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I know last year you and I stayed on for 3 hours, and then man, it was
Yeah.
tiring, man, because we were trying to get through the pick. The Lions had a 6 pick, and they dropped down to 12, so we were on for quite a while. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that this year, but we'll definitely do a recap show.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Cool. All right, then. Well, if that's all you got, son, we're gonna wrap it up. All right, Lions fans, holla at y'all during and after the draft. Peace.
Peace.